And good afternoon. Welcome to BT Sports Score on another hectic Saturday of football. All the goals and talking points as they happen for the next 3 hours. And earlier today, no goals, 0-0 between Liverpool and Manchester United at Anfield, the second year in a row that it's finished goalless.
So the Premier League table looks like this. That point for Manchester United has taken them above Manchester City at the top of the table for the time being. Tottenham will look to tighten their grip on third place as they play Bournemouth. And Liverpool have gone above Burnley into sixth after their draw earlier. At the bottom, Crystal Palace are 4 points adrift at the foot of the table as they prepare for the visit of Chelsea. Bournemouth and Swansea both have the chance to move out of the bottom three today, whilst Huddersfield could return to the top half of the table. So in the 3 o'clock games, 7th place Burnley take on West Ham at Turf Moor. Goalless and pointless Crystal Palace welcome champions Chelsea to Selhurst Park. The Etihad plays host to a repeat of the 2011 Cup final as Manchester City plays Stoke. And it's a first ever top-flight meeting between Swansea and Huddersfield in South Wales. Wembley plays host to Tottenham against Bournemouth, with the home side still yet to register a Premier League win at the National Stadium. Bournemouth have lost all 3 away games that they've played this season.
Well, welcome to the programme. Let's talk about the game then at Anfield, which finished 0-0. Jermaine Genius is with us today. Tim Sherwood, Rachel Brown-Finnis, Chris Sutton and Paul Ince. The point takes Manchester United to the top. But Jurgen Klopp will be really frustrated, won't he? That was an opportunity gone begging to beat United and to put down their own marker a little bit.
Yeah, it was, to be fair. And I think when you think about the way Man United set out, especially for the first 25 minutes, you can understand that. You know, Liverpool are going to come out fast out the traps. They're going to press high. So I can understand Man United playing, you know, quite deep. But then after that, you know, Liverpool, to be fair, were the better side and created enough chances to win the game. But I was talking to JJ before, and we all kind of get hepped up about Liverpool, Man United, massive game. And it was disappointing. It was really a poor performance from Mourinho. Listen, Mourinho will be happy with a point. Don't get me wrong, not many teams would go to Anfield and get a result. But the way they just came out, especially after you were saying we're a better team this year, we're scoring goals, and they were poor for me. But a point's a great result for Mourinho.
Particularly when you bear in mind how poor Liverpool have been defensively, Rachel. It's surprising, isn't it, that Jose Mourinho didn't, at any stage, it seemed, want to try out that soft underbelly of Liverpool's defence.
Yeah, I mean, and that's... I mean, to be fair, United haven't been particularly massively free-scoring. They've really kind of pride themselves on being defensively strong, and they've proven that again today. One bonus, I suppose, from Klopp's team's performance was a clean sheet, which has been hard to come by. But, I mean, I suppose with Fellaini out, I mean, Mourinho went through his long, huge list of players that were injured, but I'm not reading a lot into that. He should have gone for it a little bit more, I think, today. But I think we'll go away, as Paul said, go away with a point from Liverpool. They're still top of the league.
He's got his desired outcome, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So, you know, we're all saying, well, you know, Manchester United didn't go for it. There was only one team trying to win the game, but ultimately he walks away with a point and he's happy with that.
You could see Klopp's face at the end, couldn't you, Tim? He was really frustrated because only 1 win in 7, 1 win in 8 now. That was an opportunity just to claw back a little bit of gap on the big four at the top.
It was a chance to lay down a marker to say that they're actually in this title race, because up to now I'd say they're not. You know, it's no disguising it, no matter how much he wants to laugh and smile about it. The fact is they've had a bad start to the season and it's not took them forward. You know, in my opinion, I think they've stood still. And this was a great chance. And from Man United's point of view, I think Rachel's now on the head. No Fellaini, no Pogba, no Bailey, even mentioned Rashford in his pre-match news conference, and Rashford was on the bench. He didn't want to win that game. He just didn't want to lose it, and he got what he wanted.
Yep, and it's October. If it were April and there were 4 or 5 points between him and whoever at the top, his attitude might be different, Mourinho. But in October, he thinks no need to chase it. It's probably not in his nature, is it?
Well, not in recent history. You wouldn't kind of say that. I don't think. We all here wasn't happy with the way Manchester United obviously set up.
You look really frustrated.
I am, purely and simply because I think that it's one of those situations where people look at it and go, it's a Mourinho masterclass. And it wasn't. They gave away opportunities to Liverpool. And from Liverpool's point of view, it's kind of the same old stuff that you're always talking about if you're a Liverpool fan or if you're in that dressing room, which is obviously, yes, 1 week it's defensively, not at it. Today they've sorted that out because they've not been tested. But the other end, they haven't got that one who can just get a scrappy goal. It's always got to be a worldie from Coutinho or a worldie from Firmino. They haven't got someone who's just going to get on the end of something, and that's exactly what they needed today. There's someone who stays in that 6-yard box, gets that tap in, and they win that game comfortably. So it's a frustrating day for Jurgen Klopp, I'd say.
Just one more on this. For all that we talk about, and they were much better today defensively to Liverpool, they might need a new goalkeeper, they need Virgil van Dijk or whatever. How much do they need just as much a 25-goal man up front? Or maybe even more than those other things?
Well, I think it's important because, I mean, we've been going on about the defence for the last 3 or 4 weeks. You know, Liverpool have been creating chances left, right and centre every week. 5, 6, 7 chances a game. So JJ's right, they need that. If you go through the big teams like the Morata at Chelsea and Lukaku, they've all got Kane at Tottenham. They've all got that 25, 28 goal scorer a season. And if they can get that in their team, then they will be challenging the top 4.
You think I'm frustrated, by the way, Pooh? Did you see Lukaku today?
And
what he had to do and the shift he had to put in for the team today. We're talking about a player who's been... is he going to get the golden boot or not?
Yeah.
He's not going to get the golden boot.
First touch in the 17th minute.
Mourinho's not going to worry about that, is he? Whether Lukaku's going to get
No,
the
he's
golden
not,
boot.
I
He's
know.
worried about getting a result, that's it.
Of course, yeah. But he's lucky to get it.
He's got it. What does social media say after that 0-0 draw at Anfield? Here's Jules.
Well, on Twitter, Manchester United fans are talking about one man and one man only, David De Gea. Jonathan Schrager says, I never thought I'd see a Manchester United goalkeeper who could rival or even surpass Schmeichel. But De Gea is as near to the Great Dane as humanly possible. And Adam McCullough backs him up. He says, David De Gea, the best in the world.
Well, is he the best in the world? I mean, that save... I mean, those of us of a certain age, that's us two here, remember Pat Jennings saving with his legs so well. He's brilliant. That was a
I don't remember that,
brilliant
Pooh. You might. I don't remember that. Speak for
It
yourself.
was. It was a brilliant save
Yeah.
because it's not that he doesn't just stick his... I mean, his foot's in the right place, but he actually has to actively move his leg and coordinate it to make that save. And that's like a point-blank save. We've seen him do it before. It's not just that he sticks his foot out. He makes saves with his feet, slightly different. Top quality, best in the league this year. Absolutely.
OK, 5 games kicking off at 3 o'clock today. We'll preview them in a moment. The late game here on BT Sports sees Watford, who've enjoyed a very good start to the season, take on Arsenal, unbeaten in their last 7. And Jake Humphries at Vicarage Road for us.
Thank you very much and welcome to the inner sanctum here at Vicarage Road. Before too long, that's the dressing room that Arsenal will be walking into, having not scored a goal or won a game away from home so far this season. But having said that, Watford's form at home isn't great. They're looking good under Marco Silva, but they have yet to pick up a win here at Vicarage Road. So today, something is going to give. Poor away form against poor home form. And this is where it unfolds. We'll start our build-up at 5 o'clock. Kick-off is at 5:30. I'm joined by Robbie Savage and Martin Keown today, and we'll check in with you at half-time in the 3 o'clock kick-offs as well. Back to you.
Cheers, Jake. Now, Chris, it's been a tough week for Scotland, going out of the World Cup, not going to be there next summer. Also losing Gordon Strachan this week. But let's look forward, because they've appointed Malky Mackay. Is that the right decision?
He's going to be in an interim basis. I just wonder whether that gives Scotland time to wait for Michael O'Neill, the Northern Ireland manager, get their qualifiers out of the way, hoping that Northern Ireland get knocked out and then offer him the job.
What about the potential of David Moyes getting this job, because he's been linked with it as well?
No, that would be a really unpopular decision. It's the way it is. I think that people view David Moyes, whether you like it or not, as a negative manager. And, off the back of losing Gordon Strachan, he had to go, by the way, Gordon Strachan. David Moyes wouldn't be a popular appointment north of the border.
Now, you've been in Scotland the last few days. You went to the Rangers game last night, had a bit of a rant about all of this. But what's the mood been like in Scotland amongst the fans off the back of the World Cup qualifiers?
I think, amongst the supporters, I think there's a little bit of a split. Some people are talking about, Scotland did well in the last few games, but, that's like saying that you're 5-0 down at half-time and scoring 2 goals in the second half. We won the second half. It hasn't been good enough. He's failed Gordon Strachan. So I think in the main that, a lot of the supporters are glad to see the back of him.
Are they glad to see Malky Mackay appointed, though?
No. No, they're not. There's issues with Malky in the past, but he was in his position. It seemed an easy fit for this game against Holland. But I think it's a wait-and-see ploy. Michael O'Neill will be the man.
What about the former England manager, Sam Allardyce? He was also linked with this job, up there in one of the bookies' favourites.
Yeah, and, I could understand that. And I think Big Sam would like nothing better than to go north of the border, organise a Scotland team, get them through to a major tournament and stick 2 fingers up at the English FA.
OK, well, last night Rangers won 3-0 at 10-man St Johnstone to remain 3rd in the table. Leaders Celtic are at home to Dundee this afternoon, and Emma Dodds will be keeping an eye on this one for us. Emma, over to you.
That's right, Jules. Celtic looking to maintain their position at the top of the table against Dundee today and stretch this fabulous unbeaten run to 59 games. But Brendan Rodgers has made 7 changes for this one today, obviously with an eye on the Bayern Munich game midweek, including Doris de Vries, the goalkeeper, who's come in to replace Craig Gordon, who's not even on the bench. As far as Dundee are concerned, their form's picked up in recent weeks with 2 wins and a draw in their last 3. They've stuck with a back 3 in defence today, and Neil McCann's also been able to hand a debut to Josh Meekings, who is now finally recovered from a long-term knee injury. Hibs came so close to ending Celtic's unbeaten run. Can Dundee go one better today?
Cheers, Emma. Well, if Celtic do slip up, Aberdeen can end the day top. They travel to Easter Road to face Neil Lennon's Hibernian, and Stephen Craigan is there for us.
I am indeed, Jules, and I wish Chris Sutton would just leave Northern Ireland alone and leave Michael O'Neill. He's comfortable, he's happy, we're in the playoffs, end of story. Anyway, listen, I'm here at Easter Road for 6th place Hibernian against 2nd place Aberdeen, and what really is a mouth-watering clash. Both sides had impressive results last time out. We heard Emma talking about Hibs drawing 2-2 at Celtic Park. Aberdeen had an impressive 3-0 home victory against St Johnstone, and Adam Rooney hat-trick. So Neil Lennon goes with the same 11 who started 14 days ago. Derek McInnes makes 1 change from his win against St Johnstone. Gary Mackay-Stephen replaces Greg Stewart. So let's hope this game delivers on what we all expect it will do, and that's goals.
So 20 minutes till kick-off for today's 3 o'clock games. Join us after the break as we ask the big question. Can Crystal Palace get a point or even score a goal? Back in a moment.